Hey Bookwormies, and welcome back. We are here for my May wrap-up. It's finally June, my birth month. I'm so excited. I have a lot of books that I want to read in the month of June. Actually, not that many, but whatever. Anyways, but May was a good month. There were a few new releases, a few books that I wanted to get through, and I did. So, let's get started. First, we started with Great Big Beautiful Life. It did come out, I think it was the very end of April, but I didn't make it in time for April, so in May I read it. It was very quick, and I'm really used to, with Emily and Henry's books, I'm really used to that they're not one of my favorites. Happy Place was a bust. I really didn't like it. Finding Story was a 4-star, so, not amazing, but not horrible, so I enjoyed it. And then afterwards, I was like, okay, let's just read Great Big Beautiful Life. People say that it's different from our others, too. And so I decided to read it, and I gave it 4.25 stars. This was really good. It kind of gives The Favorites vibes by Lane Fargo, but it isn't. Don't make the mistake that The Favorites is the same as Great Big Beautiful Life, because it isn't. But the vibes that it gives and the story behind that rich woman, there's a whole backstory to it. And it was very interesting. I like the style of the writing. It wasn't my favorite overall book of the year for romance, but it was really good. I didn't feel like the romance was super heavy, but it was a good book. I really enjoyed the plot. I really enjoyed it. And it kept me driven, it kept me happy, it kept me sane. So I'm going to tell you guys, I enjoyed it, and I think that really is all that matters. But anyways, next book that I read is a book thanks to NetGalley and the publisher. This isn't me trying. This book was also kind of different. This is not usually something that I read. It gives me the vibe of Binding Between the Boys of Tommy, because it has a lot of mental health problems. So it's a great book that it talks about codependency and depression and other things, but it makes it simple, and I really like the style of the writing. The writing just flowed, and it's about the story. It was just really nice. There was a good rhythm to it. There were short chapters, which I loved, and it was not short. It wasn't long. It was a short book. I think it was 300 and something pages, so pretty good. And I really liked how it tackled complex emotions, but made it honest and thought-provoking, but it didn't dramatize anything. It just gave the plain truth. It didn't try to cover it, didn't try to sugarcoat it, but it also didn't try to make it so dramatic or super crazy that you're just wow, I didn't know that this happens, when it's not true. It gives us quiet realism. I really enjoyed it, but it didn't fully land for me. There was just something that I felt like I was missing. I feel like there should have been more layers to the character development, and I feel like we didn't get enough about the characters. It was just, oh yeah, there's this character, and we're kind of done here. So I was just okay. So I feel like I wish we got more about that. And I felt like I was more observing from the background rather than actually in the story. I just felt like I was, I kind of felt like I was in the movie, and you just don't feel connected to it. I don't know. This is just something. But I think it was it's really worth reading, and it handles very hard topics really well. And in the end, I give it 3 stars. It is releasing in the 17th of July this year. So guys, mark your calendars if you're interested. And yeah. Next, I remember a few months back, I read Culpa Mia, and I decided, let's read the next book. Let's try to continue it, because the first book, though, ended pretty perfectly. And so I was I want to see, is this book going to be good or not? So I started Your Fault, and I gave it 4.25 stars, but when I look at it now, guys, I think this was very unnecessary. The next 2 books, Your Fault and Our Fault, Culpa Tuya y Culpa Nuestra, it was very unnecessary, very why do we need this? I feel like this didn't need to become a series about this couple. It just didn't need to happen. I would have enjoyed, I don't know, Jenna's point of view, her book with Lion, but I didn't need this one. I read it quickly, I enjoyed this book, but Your Fault ended crazy, kind of, but there were just parts where I was just this is toxic, in a way. I don't know, I just didn't feel much for it. I hated what happened with Noah and Nick. No. But did I still go and read Our Fault right after? Yes. And in one day? Yes. I binged it up, but I give it a 4 stars, but honestly, when I look back to it now, I don't see anything really amazing about it, especially Our Fault. There were so many conflicts, there were so many problems, and then the way that this book decided to wrap the story up just didn't make sense to me. I feel like the way that they just brought it all back together, I felt like it was just they put some string around the book, and they were just here you go. It totally won't fall. They found dollar store glue and just put it on, knowing that it won't stick. It just doesn't make sense. And honestly, I felt good in just the first book. The other 2 books were really unnecessary. They were just there. And I wish I could really, guys, I want to just spoil it and just say, because otherwise it just makes 0 sense. But if you guys have read the books, you understand that just the way that the series ended, it just wasn't right. Am I still going to watch the 3rd movie? Yes. I want to see how they produce it. I want to see how they portray it. But this is not favorite. I really enjoyed the first book. 2nd and 3rd just kind of flopped a bit more, and they were very, very necessary. Like, I would have felt great even without them. So, there's that. Next, guys, I read The War of Two Queens, which is the next book in the, like, Blood and Ash series, that whole fanatics, and I gave it a 4 stars. I really expected for this to be 5 stars, like, super expected that from it, because I loved how, like, I was going stir crazy with the ending of the other book in that Blood and Ash, because okay, Blood and Ash and Flesh and Fire are like 2 interconnected series, but they have different plots. And I just read a Flesh and Fire book, and I was just like, I want to go back to the Blood and Ash, because in Blood and Ash, the one before the War of Two Queens just ended really, really crazy, and I was just like, I need to know what happens next. I read this book, and I was just like, this is it. This is what I was this excited about. Like, it was good. Don't get me wrong, it was good. I liked the story, I liked the plot, I liked what was going on, but like the first 30-40% of it, I was bored. I just gotta say this, I was bored. But then afterwards, I searched it up and all of that, and a lot of people said that they were bored of it. So that makes me feel better, I guess. I don't know what to say, but it was okay. I really can't tell you much. It was fine. That's all I really care. Anyways, next book I read is another arc that I got from NetGalley, which is A Kingdom of Shadow and Ash, which is a fantasy book. And I gave this book a 4 stars. This was so good. Like, seriously, thank you, NetGalley, and also to the author. And I really enjoyed this. It has like topics and themes I would have never guessed. I really liked the magical system, the world, the plot. Everything was meticulous. Everything made sense. And it was good. It was really, really good. I didn't expect it. The characters were spot on, and I liked how there were a lot of multiple different POVs. We had different point of views of different characters, and so like I got a feel into each character and learned a bit about each of them. The author also introduced the world in such a simple way. Like, there are a lot of times in fantasy books where they kind of info dump the whole world, because it's hard in a fantasy book to introduce a world without just overwhelming like literally the readers. But the author just did a great job with introducing it. Really enjoyed it. And the writing was lyrical, but it was practical, and it made sense, and I enjoyed it, and it helped us imagine everything. But there were a few problems to this book. Like, obviously, like, I'm like saying like, oh my god, I love this, and then you're like, why aren't you then saying that you loved it? Why aren't you saying that like why didn't you give it 5 stars? That's because okay, this is kind of a silly idea, but like, I did enjoy some of the point of views. I did enjoy some of the characters. I was just like, I kind of don't like you, and like sometimes they would change mid-chapter the point of view, and I didn't know who it was, or even just at the start of the new chapter they didn't say whose point of view it was. So I just had to like go around guessing who is it, and I wish there was a clearer direction on who it was, so I kind of have an idea, because I had to waste effort and that. But also at the start. Not about that. I also wish that the author put more effort into other relationships that characters have, and telling us more about the main girl's parents, because I feel like a lot about her is still unknown. But it could be because she's saving it for the other books, so I don't know. But in conclusion, this book is amazing. I would still tell you guys to read it, because it's a good fantasy. I really enjoyed it. The romance was also good. It wasn't overwhelming. It was a good book. Next, I decided we're going to continue trying to finish series. And what did I read? We'll Always Have Summer, the last book in the Summer I Turned Pretty series. I give this a 3 stars, guys. This was so not it. It was not it. It was not good. It was not interesting. I just felt like this series has gone to crap. The amount of childish drama, the amount of just shit that just goes on, and I'm just like, why? I hated Belly. I hated all the characters. I only remember Jeremiah and Belly. I don't remember who was the last one. Oh, Conrad. Yeah, I didn't like the Fisher guys. I didn't like Belly. The only person that I kind of liked was Steven and Taylor. Staylor was the only couple I enjoyed. The only thing that I enjoyed. I did like, what was that character that was introduced, I think, in the second season, in the second book? I didn't enjoy them either. It's just so many characters I just didn't care for, and then this book just went to hell. I just felt like it was half-cooked, and not in any good way. There is no good way to put half-cooked. Anyways, next book I read was Wedding in Rome, because I read Practice Makes Perfect, but it was the second book. I never read the first book. I didn't know that it was part of a series, but I decided to read it. And this book was so cute, it was so fluffy, and it was so sweet, and everything just, I really needed that, especially after the We'll Always Have Summer book. Like, what the fuck was that half-assed thing, where even the ending, I just felt like it was rushed. But this book was perfect. This book was super easy, super fun to read. I didn't feel overwhelmed. I felt happy. It was just perfect. I loved the characters, I loved the banter, I loved everything about it, I loved the family aspect, I loved the small town. There was just almost everything about it I loved. I gave it 4.25 stars. Sarah Adams knows how to make a good, simple, cute, fluffy romance. Like, there aren't a lot of people that can do that. Like, there are a lot of people that can do that, but she just does it in such a way that just makes it so fluffy. 4.25 stars. Amazing. Next, I decided to finish another series, which is a Cassandra Clare series, which is the last book, and it is Chain of Thorns. I have been putting this off because I don't remember anything from the last 2 books of the series, but I still read this book. I audiobooked probably half of it at least. I didn't really enjoy it that much. I really don't remember either that much about the story. There were moments where I was interested, but they were kind of fleeting. I gave it 3 stars. There wasn't much to it. I just don't, like, I didn't feel good or bad about it. It just is there for me. That's why it's a 3. Then I started my reread because, yes, so we started with Binding 13, obviously 5 stars. This book, no, I can't do, no. I was going to take out Binding 13 and the rest of the series out to show you guys the tabs, but they're kind of stuck in there. So if you guys want to see the tabs or anything, just go watch my The Boys of Tommen video. That is probably already out for you guys. I talked way more in detail about all of the books, my thoughts and all that, but Binding 13, I obviously still give these 5 stars. I love going back and seeing Shannon and Johnny and Joey, Taj, Claire, Lizzie. I loved seeing all of them. I didn't hate anybody. I love this book. It was like a cute, fleeting puppy love. I loved that Johnny was so scared because him and Shannon had a, 1-2 year difference? Like, dude, you are so responsible. I love that about you. I enjoyed every fleeting moment. I enjoyed everything about this book. There's nothing bad about it at all. You cannot convince me otherwise. And then we have, obviously, I read Keeping 13, and still 5 stars. Still 5 stars. It was amazing. I enjoyed every single aspect. It was depressing. Yes, it was. Like, out of Binding and Keeping 13, which of the 13 books I liked more, Keeping, because it was more depressing. It was crazier. I was dying. I wanted to cry myself to sleep every night. But that's okay. I love the story. I love the plots. Chloe Walsh really knows how to tug at my heartstrings. During the reread, I didn't cry. But that's because I knew everything that was going to happen. But don't worry. In my mind, I was crying. Next, I did my Saving 6 reread because... Is there a reason? No. I love Joey and Aoife, and I really needed to see their story again because I felt like I forgot everything about them. Well, no, actually, no. It's because I wanted to re-see their love. I loved Saving 6. It's so sweet. It's so cute. It's not as long as the rest of the books. I think it's one of the smallest ones, not counting Saving 7. And I really love this book. This was just a masterpiece. You cannot convince me otherwise to it. I enjoyed every single moment. And then we have Redeeming 6, The Hunk, my favorite book in this series because this is me. I love all the most problematic books, but this book had everything the world could want. I hated on characters. I loved on characters. I had my moments. I had my moments of anger. I had my moments of sadness. I had my happy moments. I had every single type of moment that could have. That book was annotated the heck out of, especially Saving 6. Honestly, Saving 6 was, ooh. But yeah. Next, I decided to take a break before reading Releasing 10 and read this small short book called The Lantern of Lost Memories. I didn't care for it. It was just a simple Japanese book. I read it in English. Don't worry, guys. I do not know Japanese. I gave it 2.75 stars. There wasn't anything good about it, but there wasn't anything bad about it. I just needed a little cleanser, something to prepare me for the death of Releasing 10, so I read this. I have no other thoughts about it. And now my last book of May was Releasing 10. Obviously, I give it 4.5 stars. Before anybody goes up to me and decides to attack me, I did enjoy this book. I love this. There were every moment that I could have wished for was in there. We really got to see Lizzie's story, and Lizzie's story is hard. It's harsh. It's a harsh reality. It's something that many people live with, and it was really, really, really sad. Like, the amount of shit that she had to survive, the amount of shit that her family had to survive, the amount of shit that was just going on this book, I feel like most people wouldn't be able to survive this. And this just really solidified my love towards her. She just really knows how to tug at my heartstrings. She made, like Chloe Walsh made everything her, but she also taught us about Lizzie, taught us why she is the way she is. She didn't even try to, it wasn't really, I feel like all of us were like, oh yeah, it's time for her to redeem Lizzie or else we're still gonna hate her for the end of time. But it was less about redeeming her, more about telling her story, just so people understood that she's the way she is, not because she felt like it. No, it's because of the cards she was dealt, the things she had to go through, the amount of shit she went through just for that to happen. So there's that. And that's kind of the main idea, guys. There's not much else I want to tell you guys except for that this book was amazing. And guys, the month of May was filled with really good books, really good books. All the 5 stars were obviously rereads. They weren't anything new, but whatever. Anyways, guys, so I hope you enjoyed today's video. Tell me, guys, how many books you've read in May. Have you read any of the books I've read? What are your plans for the summer break, since most of you guys already have summer break? What are your plans? And yeah, I guess I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!